10 years ago, the North Country was thrust into the national spotlight. People who call the region home never expected how the next 23 days would play out. It was a time of unknowns filled with anxiety and, frankly, terror for some people. ABC 22's Matt Laufer looks back at the timeline.
10 years ago, in June 2015, North Country was rocked by the area's most notorious prison escape. Most of the world doesn't know the small town of Dannemora, New York, home of Clinton Correctional Facility, even exists. On the morning of June 6th, that changed. Full disclosure, my brother Charlie Laufer was a corrections officer in the facility at the time of the prison break.
I was working the midnight shift. I was C block. Just a normal night, you know, me and my partner Josh that night. Nothing crazy happened all night. At about 5:30, I think, in the morning, somewhere around there, a sergeant came in, said we had to do a standing live count, which was rare because it just doesn't happen too often. He said there was an escape.
2 men, convicted murderers, were missing from their cells.
Getting that call at 7 o'clock in the morning was surreal. It's like, no, they just miscounted. They're not out there in the community.
All hands on deck and just go look for these guys. We figured they wouldn't have been too far. You know, honestly, I figured we'd find them within an hour. And before that, I never thought in a million years that anybody would escape from that prison.
In fact, nobody ever had before.
2 people escaped from Clinton Correctional Facility. This is a first time in this institution's history that anyone has escaped from the maximum security portion of this facility.
Both men had, in fact, tunneled their way out of their cells through steel walls, steam pipes, and eventually through the drainage system to a manhole cover just a few blocks away from the prison.
As the day developed, it became clear that this was not just some little thing. This was 2 really scary dudes who had broken out of the maximum security prison.
All of a sudden, Dannemora, New York is in the world's spotlight.
Everyone converged onto Plattsburgh and the North Country.
With all the world watching, folks in our otherwise quiet community were now in unfamiliar territory.
There were a lot of people that were scared in the community. Several of them called us up, especially elderly women that had firearms in the house. Their husbands had recently passed and said, you know, I have this shotgun or I have a handgun. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to load it. Could you send somebody up and show me?
People were really scared, and honestly, I don't blame them. I mean, you look at the backstory on the 2 guys, they're both murderers, they're both really bad guys.
It was absolutely terrifying for the residents, especially if you lived near the prison, which are a lot of rural houses, and somebody's backyard might have 10 acres of woods behind them. They were absolutely terrified, and they had every right to be.
For 20 days, more than 1,000 law enforcement officials from all over the state followed lead after lead, combed countless acres of land, checked thousands of cars at checkpoints, tirelessly searching for any clues in the case. A big break occurred on June 26 when Richard Matt was found just outside of Malone. A shootout took place with police, which led to his death. Just 2 days later,
I was patrolling on Coveytown Road and I saw a subject walking down a stone wall in an alfalfa field when it was raining out.
Cook said he knew something wasn't right, so he initiated contact.
He ended up taking his hood down and showing me his face, probably trying to bluff me or whatever, and that's when I realized it was actually him.
Within seconds, Sweat took off. On foot, so did Cook. Eventually, Cook commanding Sweat to stop or he'll shoot.
Stop or I'm gonna shoot, and he didn't stop, so that's what ended it. That's how quick it happened, just like that.
Just like that, the weeks-long manhunt came to an end. Miraculously, no civilian or law enforcement officers were injured. As hundreds of police, investigators, and other officials hit the road back to their home communities, local focus turned to those charged with helping the inmates escape. Ultimately, Joyce Mitchell, the prison tailor shop worker that was charged with smuggling tools into the prison for Matt and Sweat's escape, served just over 4 years of her 3 to 7 year sentence. She was released in 2020 and is said to still be living in Dickinson Center with her husband Lyle. Corrections officer Gene Palmer, also charged with helping Matt and Sweat, served 4 months of his 6-month sentence and was released in 2016. Reports show David Sweat is behind bars at Mid-State Correctional Facility serving out a life sentence. In Dannemora, Matt Laufer, ABC 22 News.